Hello, hello, and happy Thanksgiving, Canadian friends. For those of you that are going to watch from the US, our Thanksgiving is today, October 10th, and I am so excited to talk about the alignment that has happened in our universe today, that two of the most important days are actually colliding and happening together. And it's like a gel and a mesh, and it makes so much sense. We need to talk about it today. The universe has aligned that World Mental Health Day is today, October 10th. And today is Thanksgiving. And those two are the perfect marriage, because the most powerful process, or the first step that you can take in making sure that you keep your mental health well, is to have yourself centered in gratitude and thankfulness each and every day. Because when you come from that state in your brain of looking around, paying attention to everything that's good, centering yourself on gratitude, getting up each day with a positive outlook and a joyful heart that is full of gratitude, it will improve your mental health. So today's a really special day for us, how it's all aligned here today. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about 5 other things that I think you can do to support your positive mental health. And here's the other part of this. When you have positive mental health, it affects you emotionally, it affects you spiritually, it affects you physically. So mental health is such a big part. It's probably the most important thing that we need to talk about, because when we keep our mental health well, it affects every other aspect of our lives and our overall emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. So hello, everyone. My name is Corliss. I am a coach here in Canada, and I am actually on my way to the lake to enjoy some time with my boys at the beach, actually, because it's such a beautiful day here. However, before I left, I wanted to pop on here in celebration of Thanksgiving, but also to acknowledge Mental Health Day. And it is World Mental Health Day. And I think this conversation is something we not only need to have, we need to have it regularly. We need to revisit it. We need to share our experiences, and we need to build off of it so that we keep our health well, beginning with our mental health. So I'm going to begin with a story here. And here's the story that I want to start with. Last week, I was at a mental health conference. I spoke at it. It was such an incredible experience for me. I have so many positive feedback, or so much positive feedback that has come out of it. It really makes me believe that we need to have these conversations. We need to open up and be vulnerable and share. And as a matter of fact, at that conference, it was the very first time that I shared a part of my story that I had never shared before. And it was not only freeing, but it was incredibly powerful, because there was person after person after person who came up and said, thank you for sharing that, because I'm living with that. I know someone who's living with that. It was truly a vulnerable thing for me to share. And it was big, not only for me, but for the people in the room. So today, that isn't the point of the story. Today, what I wanted to share with you is, after the mental health conference, I went and spoke at an up close and personal event. And at this up close and personal event, everyone was given an opportunity to ask questions randomly, anonymously, of me. They just wanted me to speak to my experience. And one of the questions that came out was, what do I struggle with the most? I had to think about it for a minute, because I like to think that I'm the same as everybody else. However, I have just worked really hard at developing tools and skills to be able to bounce back a little bit faster. So maybe in some cases, I'm just a step ahead, in these things, but we all slide back from time to time. And I had to really think about, what is my biggest struggle? And what I had shared was that at this stage of my life, I'm finding that my hormones are taking over, and that some days I literally wake up and just don't like life. I don't like myself. I have really diminishing self-talk on those days. It's a perimenopause thing, apparently, that just goes on in your body. And it's making me have a lot of empathy towards women who struggle, with their hormones. It actually is making me even relate more to even my teen son, who, like, some days is just not feeling himself. And it's like, sometimes our bodies just take over, and we need to just give ourselves grace. So I had shared that was one of my biggest struggles. But as I was traveling home from Yorkton, Saskatchewan, which is 4 hours away, I really started thinking, is that my biggest struggle? Is it truly my biggest struggle? And you know what? even though I don't deal with it all the time, I would say that there's two things that are my biggest struggle. And the first one is my mental health, keeping myself well. There are different things that, happen that pull me down. When my family members are struggling, say my children, if they're having a hard time, that pulls my mental health down. If I am burning myself out, if I'm tired because I've overworked myself or been too ambitious in my projects, my mental health goes down. And different times of the month when my hormones are going on. So I fall in and out sometimes of a state of depression. Now, not medically diagnosed depression, but certainly depressive thoughts and sad feelings. And those trigger loneliness and emptiness and making me feel like I'm not very valuable or unworthy. So would that be my biggest struggle? I would say it is. And I wanted to talk about it today because I think that sometimes we just assume when we watch people that they've got it all going on and that they don't have bad days. I have bad days just like everyone else. Another thing that triggers depressive thoughts for me and my mental health kind of downward spiraling is when I overwork myself or if I'm really exhausted and tired. So today, acknowledging this to all of you and recognize, I just wanted to, be honest about the fact that I struggle with it. So if you're struggling with it, let's break the stigma. It's not a big deal. We can get through it together. And there is practices that we can do that can help us when we're feeling those really low feelings. And here's the other thing that I know for sure. I do know this because I have been experiencing the law of attraction at work so many times throughout my life that there is no way that it's not real. Really, truly, there is no way it's not real, because when you are aligned in your in your mental state that aligns with your emotions and how you feel, that affects your physical and spiritual connection to yourself, or your spiritual connection to yourself, and your physical well-being is the outcome. It is unbelievable when those four things are aligned, how profoundly the law of attraction will step in to get to work for you. So things will just start to attract. As a matter of fact, the word law of attraction has action in it. We got to take action. Yes, we do. And we've got to take an active outcome we've got to take an active, we've got to take actions towards our own outcome. And the foundation of this is taking care of our well-being, your whole person, all four parts, your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. Aligning those will make the law of attraction come to work for you because you've been in action, you see? So let's talk a little bit about this today, because I've got 5 things. I kind of jotted it down because I wanted to make sure and share 5 things that can become a practice for you. Something that you can do, you can share, you can duplicate, you can practice it, you can build it into your life. And even if you pick one of these 5 things and use one of these 5 things to just focus on that today, you will start to improve your mental health, which will trigger all the other health aspects. By the way, I forgot to thank you for watching. So if you're here and you're watching, thank you. Make sure and let me know you're here. Maybe let me know where you're joining us from. Are you Canadian and celebrating Thanksgiving with me today? Or if you're watching on replay, same thing, and feel free to tag a friend, share this, let's get the message out there. Let's break the stigma of mental health. Let's build each other up. Let's practice, the things that are going to keep us well, and let's make our world better together. What do you say? Okay. So the first thing is we were talking about gratitude. Appropriate today that we're celebrating Thanksgiving, and you can feel the energy in the world right now. I don't know if you can feel it, but I sure can. I'm seeing my friends' feeds. Everybody's so happy, posting things about things that they're thankful for, their families. They're taking time in nature. They're doing all of these wonderful things. And my feed is flooded with beautiful posts. Now, why is it on Thanksgiving, when we're reminded to be centered in gratitude, that we shift how we feel? There's got to be a connection between their two. And there is. When you are in a state of gratitude and thankfulness and looking around for what's good, and you stop focusing your energy and your attention on the things that aren't good, and you get yourself outside because the weather's nice right now, you do those things, those improve your mental health. Now, should we only do it at Thanksgiving? it's a wonderful time to do it, but perhaps we could actually build this in as a practice in our lives that we are doing all the time. This becomes something we do every single day. This is something that we start to do in a moment when we start to feel ourselves downward spiral and feeling negative and low and bad about ourselves or bad about our situation. What if we were to pull ourselves out and shift our thinking to, but what's good here right now? And kind of take that level of thinking and belief. Because when you focus your mind on positive thoughts, you will create positive outcomes. And worry and stress and anxiety, all of those are negative emotions that can be turned around by saying, wait a second, what's good here? What is it that I have to be thankful for? And here's the other thing I've learned. You cannot be worried, stressed, anxious at the same time as you are in a state of gratitude. They can't exist at the same time. So you get to choose the thoughts, you get to choose the focus. Gratitude is the number one thing and the number one practice for improving your mental health and keeping your mental health well, which will trigger the other parts of the health. Number 2, have a vision. Have a vision, have a vision, have a vision. I cannot say this enough because it is so easy to get caught up in this, what's going on right now and world crisis and the thing the boss did at work and how my kids behaved and that I don't have enough money. There's all those things that can get you caught up in this big knot, in this big ball of stress. And when you are centered on that, of course, you get more of what you are focused on. So you're in that place. And yes, get grateful for what you got. But when you have a vision, now you are focused on where you're going, not where you're at. And it will give you hope and inspiration, and it'll make you feel better. And it'll be like, this is only temporary. This thing I'm going through right now is only temporary because I'm going here. This is the direction that I'm going. This is the vision that I have for myself and for my life. You see, a lot of people are living in the past and they're stuck in that space. And the really sad part about that is that when you are focused on the past and the things that can't be undone, you are giving up all of your power, because if you are stuck in the past, it can't be changed. So you're dwelling on the things that people said, the things that happened, the things that, or it didn't go right, the mistakes that you made. You're focused on those things and they can't be changed anyway. So if you shift yourself out of that by saying, wait a second, what's good here right now? Here's in the present. Here's what's good in my life. How much have I grown? I've done a pretty good job. I've navigated some hard stuff. Let's build myself up. And then you start thinking about, where am I going? And start getting focused on that and excited about that and take the first action step towards it. I promise you're going to feel a shift in you immediately. So that's the other thing that you can do. Now, I've talked about this a little bit already, but I want to talk about it even more, because if you shift your focus from your problems to possibilities, you will feel a shift in yourself, because and it'll be so good for your mental health, because you're no longer focused on the things that bring you down, because our thoughts create how we feel. So if you're focusing on all of your problems and how you don't have enough, and it's so heavy and hard, you are going to kind of manifest that more in your life, and it's not going to inspire you to action. Whereas if you're focused on the possibilities, okay, today this might be where my life is at, but it's not going to be like this forever. This is temporary. This is where I'm going. And you think in terms of possibility, it's going to shift how you feel. Those thoughts shift how you feel, and you will be inspired to do something different. Okay? Number 3, work on yourself. I can't say this enough. Now, I recognize that I'm a personal development junkie and I'm a personal development coach, and I help people lead their lives, but I really want to bring this home for you. Even if the training isn't through me, if I'm not your coach, that's okay. Use this for whatever you can get from it, and then go and do something with it and go and hire someone else. It doesn't matter. Truthfully, it doesn't matter. We will align if we're meant to align. But here's what I want you to know for sure, is that if you immerse yourself in understanding you, building you, celebrating you, breaking through the things that hold you back, it will improve your mental health. It just will. 5 years ago, it came up in my Facebook memories today. Oh my gosh, so cool that it happened today on Mental Health Day on Thanksgiving. So thankful, so thankful. So my Facebook memories come up today with a memory of me telling the story about I made a decision that I wanted to change my situation, and I knew I had to go back to me. I had to go back to me because my life had kind of fallen apart. I was at a crossroads. I didn't really know what I was doing next. I was like, gosh, there's got to be more to my life than this. And I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what the answers are. I had created a vision, but I really didn't feel like I was the person who could accomplish that vision. So I was like, who do I need to become? And I went back to the drawing board and said, I'm going to go into personal growth. And this is a true story, I swear. So I made a decision that I wanted to go to West Palm Beach, Florida to unleash the power within. And there was a 2-for-1 deal. And I didn't know anybody else that wanted to go, but I wanted to go and I wanted the 2-for-1 deal. So I posted on Facebook and literally said, anybody want to go? And today, a random friend of mine that I barely know, a work colleague really from Ontario, provinces over, said, I'd like to go. I'll take the other ticket and we can split it. I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. So that was today. And then I started thinking, you're a single mom. The money could go so many other places. Who's going to watch your kids while you're away? You could put the money here. Like, do you really need this? And I was like, no, I do. But where's the money going to come from? I got to do this for myself. And I kid you not, the very next day, my mom called me. My grandma had passed away in December. My mom called me and my grandma had left me the amount of money that I needed for the ticket. I swear, you can't make this up. This actually happened. I got the gift from the universe, from my grandma, that I had no idea I was getting to pay for my ticket. You see, when you make a decision that you're going to make a shift and you decide that you're going to invest in yourself and you align yourself with this is what I need to do to be my best, to bring my best, I got to figure this out. And you go and you immerse yourself in personal development, you will find, at least this is by my experience, you will find that things will start to show up in unexpected ways to even keep you believing more and more that it's possible. And that all you had to do is make the decision and take the action and commit to it, and things will start supporting you. Immerse yourself in personal development, work on you. Hi, everybody who's watching. Okay, what number are we at? Can anybody tell me what number I'm at here? I get so excited about sharing this. Work on yourself. Okay, immerse yourself in personal development. Then I have here, get in the proper place. So what I mean by that is get in the proper place with the proper people who are going to lift you up, people who have been where you've been, who are going where you want to go. Get around them, hang on to them just like a Velcro to, the other side. Stick to it like glue and get up every day, get connected to it and stick with that. Get in places where it's going to build you up. A long time ago, I saw on my massage therapist wall, it was the 21 rules of life. And number 1 was marry the right person. This will determine 99% of your happiness. And of course, someone who had been through divorce, I was like, whoa, that is profound wisdom. But here's I'm not saying to reanalyze your relationship. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you want to level up your life, if you want to keep yourself well and mental health wise, get around people who are going to be able to support that, encourage that you're going to learn from, that you're going to grow with, that you feel safe with. The environments do exist. Your responsibility in this is to find them. Your responsibility is to connect with, where do I need to go? Who do I need to connect with? What's going to build me up? What's going to support my mental health? Reach out. It's okay to ask for help. And believe it or not, it's even okay to accept help. I am guilty of this. I had shared this at the mental health conference as well, where not only could I not ask for help, but even when it was offered to me, I couldn't accept it. And I had to figure out why. Why was it that even when people wanted to help me, I could not allow myself to go there? And, by doing the personal growth and development work, I understood that it's because there were so many times when I accepted help and I felt burned and abandoned And once they were finished with me, I was just discarded. So I put a wall around my heart where it was like, I'm just not letting anybody in. I'm not letting anyone help me, because if they help me, it could break me. I can't let them in. I needed to heal that part of me. And the only way to do that was to go and learn where I came from, what that was about. I needed coaching. I needed someone like me who does the work that I do, because until I figured that out, I wasn't going to be able to step into asking for help, accepting help, and allowing relationships to actually grow in my space as well. I don't know if that speaks to anyone today, but that's my story, and that's something that I had to work through. And then the final and probably most important thing out of all of this is to take care of yourself. Now, I'm not just talking a gratitude practice. I'm not just talking your physical, in exercise. All those things are very important. Each person here is going to have something different in the area of self-care that they need to do to keep themselves well in mental health. And you need to explore that. You need to figure out, try different things, and get yourself in a frame of mind, or not in a frame of mind, get yourself in a space where it's like, these are the things that bring me joy. Yesterday, I was with my sister, who is actually from another province. I don't get to see her very often. And she is doing TikTok and having a blast with it. Now, for those people who don't do TikTok videos, you might be like, what does that have to do with anything? But, she said something to me. She said, when I do TikTok videos, it makes me so happy. She does TikTok videos and they make her happy because she says and does things that are out of the ordinary, that she's getting creative, she's having fun with it. She's getting responses from people that they're enjoying it. She's making people laugh. It brings her joy. So I think doing the things that are self-care, there's not just one cookie cutter answer here. It's like, give yourself the opportunity to explore different things and see what things that you like to do. What is it? What do you like to do? And if you don't know, go out and try some different things and see what keeps you well and makes you happy. Because when you do the things that keep you well and make you happy, it's going to positively impact your mental health. I would say that that's a true statement. Maybe in the comments, you could share, what is it that makes you happy? And there's no wrong answer here. If it makes you happy, for goodness sakes, keep doing it and share it with other people to trigger them to be like, what else could I do that would make me happy? I do have one final thought, and it's mostly because this morning I was going for a walk and I was listening. Actually, it was yesterday. I was going for a walk and I was listening to this motivational presentation, so inspiring. And this tip on mental health, well, it wasn't provided as a tip. It's not like they said, here's a tip for mental health, but I'm going to say this is a tip. It was so profound, it needs to be shared. So it's a story about Mother Teresa, actually. And there was an interviewer that was asking Mother Teresa, what she needed. And Mother Teresa was like, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. She was, a pillar of love and support of other people. She never asked for anything for herself. So this interviewer is asking her, what is it that you could, what can I do for you? And she said, you don't need to do anything for me. And apparently she started to walk away, and then she stopped and she turned around and she said, actually, there is something that you could do for me. And the interviewer said, anything, what could I do for you? And she said, this actually makes me emotional. She said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, go out into the street at 4 a.m. today and find someone who feels alone and make sure they know that they're not. Whoa. Is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever heard? It is for me. I listened to it again today. I wrote it down in my book. I've even got the story written here because I think when it comes to mental health, so many times we cause ourselves to be in a lower mental state because we focus so much on ourselves. And we get so engrossed in how we feel, and we become self-absorbed with our thinking. And I'm not saying this to anyone else. I'm only speaking from my experience that that's when my mental health goes down, is when I get so focused on everything that's not working, everything that I'm not, I get so focused on my own issues and what's wrong with me, or maybe you're the same. But when my mental health goes downhill is when I get so self-absorbed in my own situation that I stop looking outside how I can be of service to other people and how I could show up and help someone else. And that maybe there's someone else out there that is feeling alone as well. And that my loneliness could be, combated, I guess, by going out there and giving to someone else and bringing joy to someone else. I personally think that is a big part of keeping ourselves well mentally and supporting our mental health, is to look out into the world and see who could we be of service today? Who could we help today? Who could we be kind to today? Who could we bring joy to? What thoughtful gesture could we do? And instead of focusing on ourselves, focus on how much value and what we can bring and what we can give to other people. And when we do that, we will improve our mental health because our emotional state will increase. And of course, as I've already said, it's all connected. So let me know in the comments if you agree with that. I think it's a beautiful story. I mean, what an incredible role model she was of service for others. And I think that too is something really worthy of looking at in our Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day, but also it's kind of a key step, a key action that we can take to cause and create something different in our lives and the lives of others. So thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the presentation here, make sure and give it a share, give it a response, give it a comment. I'd love to hear from you. My name is Corliss Rassyle. I am a speaker, a coach, an author of Lead Your Life, How to Live with Purpose, Passion, and Confidence. I am also the podcast host of Conversations with Corliss, where I interview inspiring and incredible ordinary people who share their stories and wisdom. It's a free resource for you. I'd love it if you'd go ahead and connect and listen in. And of course, you can reach me anytime to book me for speaking, for writing, for coaching. You just visit my website at corliss.ca. So that's www.corliss.ca. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful Thanksgiving, and that some of these tips and tricks and practices you can build into your own life, and that it will, of course, improve your health overall, but particularly your mental health. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day.